Have you read a story in the Draoithe Saga and come away with a classic case of immersion after effect? Let me guess, there are questions which remain unanswered even as the magic expanded, adding another layer to the dream. The grand desire to turn the page to discover what happened next ended with the last leaf turned. If you're asking where the remedy for the book hangover is, you know the answer: read another story. But you aren't ready for the next tale, not yet. The dust needs to settle before you pick up the next volume. So you have found your way here. You aren't alone. Even the author can't get enough. As you hear this, Ophelia Key writes on. But allow me to offer you a possibility, a reflection on the tale you recently finished, and a way to revisit the story to ease the story blues. Welcome to the Draoithe Saga After Party. Warning, spoiler alerts ahead. Turn back now if you wish to read the story blind.
Welcome to the deep dive, everyone. This is your express route to becoming, well, truly informed.
That's the plan.
Right. And usually we're distilling insights from, a whole stack of varied sources.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of reading.
Exactly. But today we're doing something a bit special. We're focusing in, doing a deep dive into one incredibly rich, singular source.
Ophelia Key's Kiss Dark.
That's the one. It's this fascinating mix of steamy paranormal romance, magical realism, and urban fantasy.
Quite a blend.
It really is.
Mm-hmm.
So our mission today is basically to pull out the most important nuggets of knowledge from just this one captivating story.
Yeah, we're going to unpack the world building.
Which is intricate, definitely, and get into its complex, magnetic characters, explore the surprising twists.
It's a unique read, for sure.
So by the end, you should be really well informed on this action-packed narrative that kind of defies expectations.
And that world, it's remarkably big, isn't it? It's all part of the broader Draoithe Saga.
Right, the whole series. Yeah. And it's set in this magical dream world. Think myths, legends, fairy tales, all walking around among the strange and wonderful.
Okay.
And the core conflict, the thing driving the whole saga, is this big fight to restore magical balance. It's pretty epic in scope.
A grand scale, then, and since it is paranormal romance, central to that is the idea of life mates, fated mates.
Absolutely central, but like you said, it's not your average fairy tale.
No, definitely got that warning. 18 plus HEA, NC warning, adult themes, fantasy violence, and or explicit sexual situations.
Can't miss that.
Right. So for anyone listening, HEA means happily ever after, pretty standard in romance, and NC usually means no cheating between the main couple.
Good to clarify. It signals right away this is mature content. It's got an edge.
Definitely.
And what really makes this saga, and Kiss Dark especially, stand out is how interconnected everything is. The world building's really clever.
How so?
Well, Kiss Dark is mostly set in 2016, starts in Tyler, Texas, but the saga quickly, branches out. Other kingdoms, magical places.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's not just stuck in one spot.
Not at all. And you get these frequent character cameos from other stories in the saga, even overlapping scenes.
Oh, interesting. Like seeing the same event from someone else's perspective.
Exactly. It makes the whole universe feel, alive, constantly evolving, like you're stepping into this living mythology.
Wow, that sounds like a really strong foundation. So with that rich world established, let's zero in on the heart of Kiss Dark, the protagonist.
The main duo, yeah.
First up, we've got Leland Mystic Shade. He's our ancient anti-hero. An old criminal vampire.
285 years old, specifically.
Right. And yet he's also this rogue outlaw who kind of casually runs the biggest solar energy company in this dream world from a skyscraper in Chicago.
Yeah, the juxtaposition is great. Ancient vampire, modern CEO.
And his daily routine, well, it involves hunting, sometimes homeless people, sometimes shifters, or even large animals just for, sustenance.
Grim reality of being a vampire.
And despite all the creature comforts, the skyscraper, the business, he's described as profoundly lonely, desperate even.
Mm-hmm.
And here's where it gets really fascinating for me. He's struggling with something called the fade.
Ah, yes, the fade. That slow walk into oblivion for immortals.
Exactly. He's so bored, so ground down by the sheer monotony of centuries that he actually thinks about suicide.
Imagine that level of ennui. It makes him strangely relatable despite being, an ancient vampire.
It really does.
And it's not just simple boredom. It ties back to his pretty traumatic past.
Oh. Tell us more.
Well, the backstory reveals how he was turned, and then not long after, he was nearly executed by a vampire enclave.
Executed? Why?
For being a dragon man. Apparently, that term is linked to the destruction of the original vampire civilization. Big deal.
Okay, so serious baggage there.
Huge baggage. It made him shun all enclaves, become this total lone vampire.
Right.
And over the centuries, he just amassed all this arcane magic, got incredibly good with a sword.
A lone wolf, basically.
Totally.
Yeah.
And even though he managed to become a daywalker, overcome the sun issue, he's still considered a marked man, always fighting off glory seekers.
Right.
So setting up this solar energy business, it wasn't just, I need a hobby. It was almost like a way to fight the fate, something to anchor him, a challenge.
Self-preservation, almost. That makes sense for someone that old. Okay, so that's Leland. Then we have Evelyn Dark Moon.
The other half of the equation.
And she's described very differently. Fresh out of university, alone, and desperate. Quite the contrast.
Polar opposites in some ways.
And she's got this massive mission, right? With the ticking clock, she has to fulfill an ancient magical prophecy.
And part of that is aiding the return of Lucifer to the dream. She needs to cast this huge spell.
Lucifer, like the Lucifer.
Well, the powerful figure named Lucifer in this mythology, yeah. And the clock is literally counting down to the date she needs to do it. High stakes.
Definitely. And her reason for applying for the job at Leland's company, Solar Enterprises, it's not just about the money.
No, it's explicitly called a haven for her.
Right, a place to escape her cheating boyfriend. So it's sanctuary, financial, personal.
And, crucially, access to a very powerful potential employer. Or perhaps something more. And this is where that excerpt from Unlikely Games you mentioned earlier comes in. It gives really vital context.
Okay, what does it tell us?
So, nearly 1,000 years back, this king, Lucifer, lost the love of his life. And in his grief, he wove this dark chaos spell. Basically unleashed madness on the dream world.
Okay, intense backstory for him, too.
Very. And the prophecy specifically says, the Last Lunar Magus, a kobold and a thrall's son, a slave to the lunar dark, will aid my cause on my night.
Wait, break that down.
Okay. Evelyn, she's the Last Lunar Magus, powerful magic user tied to the moon.
Got it.
She needs help from a kobold. Here it means like a mythical earth spirit, maybe mischievous, and a thrall's son, someone bound to the lunar dark.
Okay.
And then there's this bit. The Vampire King's dream inverter will claim death in the Lane deal, and I will return to Erlia.
Whoa. Vampire King's dream inverter.
Sounds specific, right? That's a role Leland unknowingly fits into. This whole ritual has to happen in a place called Lean Deal to bring Lucifer back to Erlia, the main dream world.
So Evelyn needs Leland.
Desperately. The prophecy even notes the last Vampire King, that's Leland, though he doesn't know it, is short of one kingdom needed for her plan. She needs his unwitting help.
What a tangled web. Okay, so their first meeting must be something else.
What is? Highly unconventional. She's just dodged a stalker to even get there.
Right, she's already stressed.
And Leland's office is a complete disaster zone. Papers everywhere. Not exactly setting a professional tone.
Not the best first impression, maybe.
And then the actual introduction happens.
Yeah.
It's potent. She walks in, he's staring out the window, and she immediately checks out his backside.
Huh. Okay, so maybe not totally unprofessional on her part either.
Right. Then he turns, and bam, this dazzling, bright green gaze that just pierced her face and seemed to peer into her soul.
Instant intent.
Totally.
Yeah.
He takes her hand, her sweaty hand, the text notes, but instead of shaking it, he lifts it to his lips, breathes in her scent.
Whoa. Okay, what's her scent?
Moonlit Rose. And he brushes her fingers. It's very intimate, very unexpected.
How does she react?
She gets this tingle, but also alarm bells are ringing, and butterflies, a total mix.
Mm-hmm.
And her own magic starts reacting to him. She even uses it on him subconsciously. Something clicks instantly.
Wow. And Leland, how does he react to her?
Just as strongly. Maybe more so, because he has these urges he needs to control. He recognizes her unique allure immediately.
But he needs an assistant, right? His office is a mess.
Desperately needs one. And that need, combined with whatever he senses in her, overrides his usual caution. He makes this incredibly generous offer on the spot.
But $80,000 a year.
$80K. Fully furnished apartment in the building, unlimited car service with his driver Vic.
Who's also his bodyguard, right? A street muscle.
Yep. And he even offers to pay off her student loans. His line is amazing. I dislike my people being slaves to anyone except me.
That's quite a statement from a vampire boss. But still, that offer is way over the top for an entry-level job. Why? Is there something else going on?
You hit it exactly. There's a hidden, much darker reason. It speaks volumes about his internal struggle.
Okay, what is it?
He's had secretaries before, but his words, his thirst, had stolen his ability to reason. He ended up tasting them.
Oh, no.
Yeah. It even led to the death of the last woman he almost hired in his bathroom. It's grim.
Wow.
So he literally swore off biting his secretaries. This ridiculously generous offer. It's his desperate gamble to be a better man, to keep her safe from himself. He's trying to break the cycle.
Okay, that completely changes the dynamic. It's not just generosity, it's him fighting his own nature to protect her. Chilling, but complex.
Deeply complex.
And despite, well, everything, she takes the job. And she's good at it. Gets his office sorted out, finds his missing suits from the dry cleaners.
Yeah, she whips things into shape pretty quick. A surprisingly comfortable, collaborative routine starts to develop. Professional on the surface.
On the surface, but underneath, there's that growing heat level in the attraction between them.
Definitely. Those accidental touches that maybe aren't so accidental.
And Evelyn's really struggling with this huge crush on her boss, who she calls sexy than sin. Even while part of her recognizes the crazy enchantment he has over her.
It's that constant push and pull for her. Professionalism versus this undeniable pull.
And for Leland, what's going on inside his head?
It's this ongoing battle, isn't it? To be a better man. He's constantly fighting his vampire instincts, that powerful urge to taste her.
Resisting temptation, basically.
Exactly. And he actually thinks about how she's like a strange antidepressant for him. Her presence pushes back the fade.
Really? How?
It seems to lessen the crushing self-pity of his lonely existence. Makes him want to try harder, control himself. Maybe it even gives him a flicker of hope for something different.
So she's affecting him on a really deep level beyond just physical attraction.
Absolutely. Which makes what happens next even more potent.
Right, because that professional veil, however thin, was about to get ripped away. In the gym, wasn't it?
Gym scene, yeah. Evelyn finds an excuse. Maybe subconscious, maybe not, to go check on him there.
And what does she find?
She finds him sweating, barefooted, and wearing shorts. And he's wielding this wicked-looking sword, practicing some kind of medieval fighting style.
Okay, quite the visual.
The text says she's basically drooling, looking at his 8-pack.
Yeah.
It's immediately very, very charged.
I can imagine. So the attraction just flares up.
Instantly. Raw. It says there's pure lust in his eyes matched her own. Her magic literally pulls at his blood.
Whoa.
He just drops the sword, forgets it completely, steps right into her personal space. There's no mistaking what he wants. It's magnetic, like you said, almost unavoidable.
And there's a magical reason for this sudden loss of control, isn't there? It's not just lust.
Exactly. This is fascinating. It's about their scents combining during arousal. Her Moonlit Rose mixes with his vampire magic scent, which is Rosewood and Chai. And together, they create something new. Moonlit Dark Rose. And this combination, it's described as a powerful aphrodisiac.
Ah, so it's literally a magical aphrodisiac drawing them together.
Pretty much.
Huh?
It explains why Leland, despite all his efforts to be better, just loses control in that moment. It leads directly to that passionate kiss. It's like their fated connection manifesting physically.
Wow, but then reality hits, right? The aftermath is awkward.
Painfully awkward. Evelyn just snaps back. What was she doing? That realization hits her hard.
Because she remembers her mission, the prophecy.
Yes. The prophecy that requires her to sacrifice a man for her spell's energy source. Kissing the potential vampire king is complicated.
Understatement. And Leland.
He's immediately hurt, maybe ashamed. He tries to take all the blame, whispers, "Forgive me," and "I don't know what came over me. You're beyond attractive to me."
Oof. So how do they handle it?
They make this mutual, almost desperate decision. Pretend it never happened. Seal it with handshake. Very formal, very forced.
Trying to put the lid back on.
Exactly. But Evelyn immediately feels this profound sadness. A loss of the intimacy they just shared, even though they're trying to deny it. It's a moment heavy with regret for both of them.
So much internal conflict, but the external threats don't just disappear, do they?
Not at all. Right after this intense personal moment, Leland runs into a new problem. A dangerous one.
That happens.
He confronts this guy, Darren Lattergy. And Lattergy introduces himself and says something really chilling. The boss would love to have you.
The boss. Who's the boss?
Exactly. Leland doesn't know. and he instantly regrets not reading Darren's memories before he basically erases him from the dream using druid fire.
Okay, wait, he erases him with druid fire? Leland has druid magic too.
Apparently. Remember, he amassed a lot of arcane skills over the centuries, but the point is, he missed his chance to find out who this boss is.
So now he knows someone, some unknown enemy, is actively hunting him.
Precisely. Adding another layer of danger just as things got incredibly complicated with Evelyn. Great timing.
Terrible timing. So where does this leave our protagonist? And, where does it leave you, the listener, trying to make sense of all this?
Well, for Evelyn, you've got this ticking clock on her prophecy.
Good.
She has to choose her growing feelings for Leland versus this destiny that might involve sacrificing someone. It's a huge moral crossroads wrapped in magic.
A massive dilemma. And for Leland.
He's becoming way more self-aware about his loneliness, about the fade looming. He realizes, and the text says this, he could no longer continue to face eternity if he didn't change his life.
So he has to make a conscious choice.
Yeah, between falling back into his old patterns, being the villain maybe, or actually trying to be a hero, whatever that means for him.
So it's this dynamic, right? Two powerful, really flawed people, their own desires crashing headfirst into these, preordained destinies.
All happening within this hidden, dangerous, supernatural world. It really boils down to personal choice versus fate. Can they break free, or are they just pawns?
It's incredibly compelling stuff. So this deep dive into Kiss Dark, it's really shown us a world where destiny, desire, danger, they don't just collide, they get tangled up.
Deeply tangled. We've seen the tension between Leland and Evelyn, their fated paths, that undeniable attraction, but also these very real external threats, ancient prophecies, new enemies popping up.
It's a lot for them to handle. Which leads us to a final thought, something for you to maybe mull over. If a vampire, someone who's been alive for centuries, fighting existential dread, fighting his own predatory nature, if he can still be totally blindsided by an unexpected connection and find himself genuinely fighting to be a better man, what does that tell you about the power of, genuine connection? How it can disrupt even the oldest patterns, maybe offer a different path, even in the most fantastical situations?
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for your support. For more, visit opheliakey.com. Welcome to the dream. Sincerely, okay.